Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adhokshaje Ahituki Apratihata Yatma Suprasidati. Translation. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Sutta Goswami is answering questions to the questions asked by the sages of Mahima Sharanya, led by a personality called Shaunaka Rishi. And here it's very nice to note the first question, in fact, the first two questions which was asked, what is the ultimate good for the humanity? And second, what is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures? So please tell us that. Now, they know very well that in the age of Kali, people will have no time. What they do, they only know, but still there's no time. And all the time, people will say there's no time. And it's very difficult for them to take up the Vedic scriptures and go through it, scrutinizingly read and try to understand what is ultimate good for themselves. Therefore, before itself, they're asking, what is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures? In future, people will not read. So, Sutta Goswami, you please tell, what is the essence of Vedic scriptures? What is the ultimate good for people in general? And this is the shloka where Sutta Goswami is answering. In fact, this shloka and the next shloka are answering these two questions. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhaktir adhokshaje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is a shloka which talks about how a devotee can be completely satisfied. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that there are two different types of occupation for human being. One is called as pravritti marg, another one is called as nivritti marg. Pravritti marg basically talks about the path of sense enjoyment. And nivritti marg talks about renunciation, path of renunciation, or to be more specific, path of spiritual advancement. So pravritti marg helps the person to get immediate enjoyment, and nivritti marg helps the person to become eternally blissful. So these are the two paths which are available. And naturally, people take up pravritti marg. In fact, pravritti marg and nivritti marg that is mentioned here, it is dharmic enjoyment, by the way, pravritti marg. Now what people do is sinful. Now this pravritti marg that is given, one has to be clear. Sometimes we might say, oh, these people are all walking on AECS layout streets doing pravritti marg. They're just doing sinful activity, papa karma, and they are paving their path towards hell. There is no other path, or there is no other destination. Pravritti marg is that marg which is dharmic enjoyment. And whenever you talk about dharmic enjoyment, one thing has to be very clear. Dharmic enjoyment means I'll work for it now and I'll enjoy it next life. That is dharmic enjoyment. Where people, before they would plan their enjoyment beforehand. Next life, I'll go to Swarga and I'll enjoy there. Now the problem in the age of Kali is, they'll ask this question, who has seen Swarga? Better make this world a Swarga and live here. So this is the question they ask. Who has seen Swarga? Pata nahi hai bhi ya nahi hai. No, better enjoy now. This was the question that was asked to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was asked that you're doing all these different things, but who knows if Krishna exists? The reporter is asking this to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, he said, it's okay, no problem. Even if Krishna does not exist, it doesn't matter. Because the entire life, now we are just enjoying. Early in the morning we dance. Tell me on earth who dance at 4:30 in the morning? Is there anyone? 4:30 in the morning. Sing and dance. And then have feast after feast. Yes. You see, when it comes to devotees, naturally the singing, dancing, feasting is there. And naturally every day is a festive occasion. You go to any pious person, for festival they'll decorate the altar nice. They clean the altar, they decorate the altar and all that. Once when we did altar installation in one person's house, newcomer, they took up bhakti nicely and we did altar installation. Then I was telling how to do the seva. Then I was saying that every day you have to put the water on the cloth and sprinkle water on the cloth and then wipe the photos. And then that person, the devotee was astonished and like, every day? We're just doing on festivals. Then I said we have to offer flowers. Every day? We're just doing for festivals. And sometimes when people say, today is Ugadi, we have to clean the place, we have to decorate the altar and all that, and do nice kirtan and all that. So at times I think, what is so special about that? We're doing it every day. We're doing it every day. This is the glory of devotional service, that every single day is a festive occasion. Every single day. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, there is no loss. Entire day we are engaged in Krishna conscious activities. And every now and then there is a festival that keeps coming. One festival goes off, next festival comes, and next. 2 festivals are fixed in a month, called as Ekadashi. Yes. So in this way, Prabhupada said there is no loss. But Prabhupada looked into his eyes and he said that if Krishna exists, what will happen to you? Srila Prabhupada has his own witty way to answer questions of reporters. So, Pravritti Marg is all about that, and people of this world, it's very difficult for them to digest that there is some next life. There is something that is beyond this material world. For them, whatever exists on this planet is what ultimate. There is nothing beyond that. But those people, who in the past were into dharmic enjoyment or planning for dharmic enjoyment, they were the ones who will do a lot of pious activities, charity, yajna, etc., etc. And then they'll plan that I'll go to Swarga and enjoy. This enjoyment here is all nonsense. This is all equivalent to stool. I'll go there and enjoy. Therefore, you see, naturally, people who are aiming for dharmic enjoyment, they'll not get into sinful activities. But anyone who aspires for immediate enjoyment, you'll see that naturally the person has to get into sinful activity. Naturally. Either he'll harm himself or others or something like that. You will be able to see. So now one thing that Srila Prabhupada mentions here is the material existence of a living being is a deceased condition of actual life. I repeat, the material existence of the living being is a deceased condition of actual life. Now tell me, when a person gets any disease, say the person has fever or stomach upset or something like that. So what are the symptoms of that? Any symptoms? Okay, some bodily temperature rises. He'll not feel good. But obvious. Anyone who has fever will not feel good. He'll not keep smiling. Yes. Okay, what else? He'll not be able to do his normal activities. All his activities will be different. Yes. And? Huh? He'll be disturbed. Okay, he'll be disturbed. Yes. What else? He'll not feel like eating. His likes and dislikes will change at that time. Yes. Correct? And? Feel cold, yes. He'll feel cold, if he has a fever or something like that. See, basically, first is his behavior will not be normal. He'll not be interested to talk to people. Say he has a fever and he's sleeping. And then some devotee comes and then he's like, Arey Prabhu, utho baat karte hain. Like, sone do yaar. Yes. I'm not well. This is what people will say, I want to sleep. I'm not well. He'll not be active. He'll not be active in day-to-day activities. And naturally, he wants to keep himself away, aloof. You might have noticed for yourself, whenever we're not well, we don't like to mingle around with people and things like that. So basically what? Activities are not normal. Second one is likes and dislikes change. Like for example, the food also. What we like, say at that time, say one a person has fever and he likes ice cream, pakoda, you keep in front of him, he'll not like. But if you keep pongal in front of him, he'll like that. But the other days he might not like this. So you see the likes and dislikes change. And he doesn't feel good, as someone said. Internally, he's feeling very low. Internally, he's feeling not good. The entire mood is upset mood that is there. And the best thing, or the important thing which has to happen, and mostly it happens, the person is eager to cure his own disease. He does not want to remain in that for a long time. He just wants to get it cured, somehow or the other. And another very important thing is, in this condition, he cannot get happiness from anything. Just think about it. When we have fever, what will give us happiness at that time? Just maybe when we sleep for some time, temporary cessation. We forgot that we have fever and we just sleep for some time. We take medicine and sleep. Maybe at that time we might feel good. Again, you get up, same thing. So here we understand very clearly that when it comes to any deceased person, he cannot get happiness from anything. And now here comes the comparison with our material existence. Srila Prabhupada is saying that this material existence is like deceased condition. And in the deceased condition, a person cannot be happy. We just discussed now. He cannot be happy. So first thing, he doesn't behave normal. According to Shastra, the normal behavior of the living entity is what? Devotional service. Jivera Swarup hoy, Krishnera Nitya Das. So being Das is what is normal condition. So that will not happen. So when we are deceased in this material world, what is our condition? All the time Ishvara Bhava. All the time want to become boss, not Das. And all the time the person wants to just control, just find out his own enjoyment and things like that. Basically, Prabhupada writes in one of the purport, more interested in materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness. So when I'm speaking these various symptoms, you all can analyze for yourself, where do we stand? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a difference given about a healthy person and a deceased person. A healthy person has got love for Krishna. Deceased person has got lust. Therefore it is described, Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tari Boli Kam Krishnendriya Priti Ichha Dhare Premanam. So Atmendriya Priti Vancha. When you want to gratify our senses, that is called as sense gratification. Tari Boli Kam, that is lust. And Krishnendriya Priti Ichha, and the ones who want to do devotional service to satisfy Krishna, that is called as prema. That is called as love of Godhead. In this world, therefore, it is said, there is no love that exists. The only thing that exists is lust. I had made this statement once, and one person was very much agitated in the class. How can you say it's lust and exploitation? No. And then, I don't know if they're married, not married. Me and my partner, we have love. And then I don't want to hurt that person, so I just ignored it. But you just analyze for yourself, what is that two people coming together all about? And there are times when we see that wife herself is saying, Mar kyun nahi jata? When someone is a drunkard or something, is not taking care of family, Mar kyun nahi jata? And when someone dies, say such a person dies, wife is also okay. We should move on in life. Move on in life. You see, now what does that mean? It's not about just the relationship of husband and wife or whatever. It's all about the give and take that happens in that relationship. That give and take sustains the entire relationship. If that give and take stops, relationship stops. That's it. That is what is the point. So there's no love that comes into picture. Yes. So always thinking about sense gratification. Now, the people who are deceased, when they see someone doing devotional service, when they hear description of devotional service in the Shastra, they feel, oh, this is so abnormal. You might have heard from your own relatives and friends, wearing dhoti, kurta, tilak, going for satsang regularly. They'll say this, are you normal? And we sitting, in the Bhagavatam class, we say that they are abnormal. So this is how it happens. They say we are abnormal, we say they are abnormal. But actually they are abnormal. We are not. So therefore it's a very important thing to note that people in the deceased condition of life, even for us for that matter, even for us, when I spoke at this pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami. So one devotee came and the devotee was asking, is that normal? Is that normal? It is, absolutely it is. Raghunath Das Goswami's intense devotion towards Lord Chaitanya is absolutely extraordinary. No doubt about that. But the thing is, we cannot digest intense devotional service. That's the problem. Itna intense kyun karna hai? Sometimes people ask also, Prabhuji, itna intense kyun karna hai? What is the need? Why? In the current diseased condition, when we are completely immersed in sense gratification, or thoughts of sense gratification, or the goal is sense gratification, what happens? We cannot digest this pure devotional aspects of Krishna consciousness. Very difficult. Therefore, this is the first thing, doesn't behave normal. So he himself will not behave normal. He'll have sense gratificatory activities. And then when he sees someone doing pure devotional activities, he feels that that is not normal. And sometimes, I don't know here how many of you have gone through that. Sometimes it happens that since the entire crowd is moving in one direction of sense gratification, just imagine, huge crowd is flowing towards one direction. And sab log ka nara ek hi hai, enjoy Madi, enjoy Madi. Yes? And just imagine, you are going in the other direction and you're just one person. You're not in an association of devotees, say you're somewhere else. You're just one person going like this and 1,000 people are going like this. It will not take much time. You also turn and say, enjoy Madi, enjoy Madi. It will not take much time for sure. It will not take much time. Just imagine, this is the world we are in. The entire world is flowing in one direction and we are trying to go in another direction. And the entire world is saying that you are deceased, you are deceased. No, your behavior is abnormal. But shastrically, one has to be convinced that this is what is normal behavior. That is doing devotional service. Second is likes and dislikes change. Now just imagine, that day when I announced we'll chant 64 rounds. I'm like, oh, 64, oof. Just imagine if someday we announce 192 rounds. प्रभु जी आप कीजिए और हमारे लिए प्रार्थना कीजिए. Why? Because that's not our likes. That is something as of now, that's not something which we like. But something that we like is full plate feast. Yes. Something that we like is how to gratify all my senses. This is what we like. Therefore, I always keep saying that every cell of our body craves for sense gratification. More and more and more. And this is the difference. When the person is a devotee, we are all practicing devotees, so we'll be in the middle state. And I'm talking about those devotees who are actually devotee, perfected pure souls. For them, what they like is just devotional service. Speaking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, nothing else they like apart from this. And in our situation, when we hear some gossip, when we hear our own glorification, it feels very nice. It feels like nectar is entering our existence. But when the pure devotees, the perfected pure souls, when they are glorified, it feels for them, it's like molten iron put into their ears. They don't like to hear anything apart from Krishna. Therefore, this instruction which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami, Gramya Vartana Koribe, Ara Gramya Vartana Shunibe. So, there's no question of hearing Gramya Varta or speaking Gramya Varta, means any materialistic talk. But as of now, in our situation, once I was giving a class and I was telling that when it comes to association of devotees, we should speak only about Krishna. And then one devotee asked, with genuine concern, he asked, that Prabhuji, if we speak only about Krishna, then how will our bonding increase? There should be little prajalpa. He was convincing me. There should be little prajalpa, where we can come together, discuss things of here and there, and then there will be nice bonding, Prabhuji. See, nice bonding happens for devotees only through Krishna consciousness. But as of now, our situation is so pathetic that we feel our bonding, two abnormal entities will come together. Bonding will happen if we do abnormal activity of sense gratification. This is what is our current situation. Likes and dislikes are different. We like those things which help our sense gratification. We don't like those things which takes us away from sense gratification. As soon as people hear that we are supposed to give up sense gratification, so much of problem. One of my brother himself was telling of the distant relative. So I was trying to convince him. He respects me a lot. So I was convincing him, you should do devotional service. It's very important. Start chanting every day and all that. One of the principles that I follow is I don't preach to my relatives. But that day I had that some, I don't know, kahan se enthusiasm, I started preaching to him. So when I started preaching to him, he said, see, I agree with all this. I accept all this. But then see, I want to enjoy life. I want to do these activities, these different, he named some activities. I want to wear good clothes. I want to go out to restaurants and eat. I want to go around for a world tour, this and that, whatever. I said, no problem, you do all this. I'm not saying you stop anything. But do devotional service also. He said, see, I know very well. I know very well. If I do devotional service, then naturally I'll give up all this. Therefore, as of now, Hare Krishna. So this is how it is. Unfortunately, this is how it is when it comes to people. Likes and dislikes are different. He doesn't feel good. You go and ask any hardcore materialist. Just go and try in your office or wherever. Try to interview. I keep doing all this when I meet people. So just try to ask those people that how much good they are feeling inside and how much satisfied they are. अगर वो satisfied होते तो हमेशा क्यों सोचते कि what next to do now, where to go and enjoy this place over now, let me go to that place, let me go to this place, let me do this activity. Some different activity is needed, some different place is needed, some different cuisine is needed to satisfy oneself. So the point is internally, they're not satisfied. You take up any person for that matter. If you feel that no, you have some person, no, Prabhuji is very satisfied internally, just go and scratch the surface, you'll understand. Usko khujao mat jaake, ask some questions. And you will find that how much cribbingness is there, how much cribbing mentality is there inside, and how much is not satisfied. I think I shared this with you all when I was invited to one of the banks to give a class to their HNI customers. So one person had come, one of the top advocates here in Bangalore. And then he was telling that he was just glorifying himself like anything. He was 70 or something age. He was glorifying himself that my life is so nice, I worked so hard till now. And guess what? My kids are settled. And my wife and myself, now we are also settled. It's so nice, so wonderful. But then Bhagavatam principles cannot change. One cannot be satisfied by only material activities. Not possible. Then I just scratched a bit. I said, you're old now, so I'm sure there'll be some trouble that you'll be going through, and some issues will be there. And then he began his katha. For next 1 hour he spoke his katha. Dukhad Dasta. It started from that. He's asking, see, I'm now old. Actually, I've got Parkinson's. So picking up a cup of coffee also becomes difficult. See, my now kids are settled. So the problem is now we are alone at home. Me and my wife. Now something happens to me, who will come to help me? Went on and on and on. It didn't end. Therefore, this point is very clear. At least devotees should have this conviction and should be very much convinced that there is no question of satisfaction just by doing material activities. Not possible. And here we understand he doesn't feel good in the disease condition. Not possible. Not possible at all. And he's eager to cure the disease. ढूंढते रहता अलग अलग जगह पे अलग अलग चीजें. He keeps searching how to get that satisfaction. How to get that satisfaction. Sometimes, we have the search for happiness as the first session. And that title itself is so nice that people come for that. Search for happiness. He's searching to cure his disease of dissatisfaction, and he comes to search. And when he doesn't become serious, he keeps searching after 4 or 5 years also. Where is Prabhuji? Where is that first session? Search for happiness. Where is that happiness? The point that I'm trying to make here is that in this world, people are diseased. And what is that disease all about? The material sense gratification and not doing devotional service. This is the disease that is there. And sometimes they also get some relief and they call it as happiness. And what is that happiness all about? Cessation of misery for some time. Any example you want to give from your own experience or that you have observed and seen around?
People work from Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, they get some relief. And again, they work like longest from Monday to Friday.
Yes. And sometimes their temporary cessation is drink nicely, sleep. And again, they get up with the same tension. You see, people especially who have a lot of tension, a lot of stress, they'll drink alcohol, and for some time they're so blissful in life. They forget everything. And again, once they come back, to their senses, then they realize, "Arey, same situation, it's not changing." Any other example you want to give? Temporarily cessation of some misery, they feel they're happy. No example.
Our academic system. One example.
Someone was telling me recently that parents do tell, no, bas 10th standard khatam kar lo. 10th standard khatam kar lo, bas. One of the parents was telling me over phone that, Prabhuji, my son's 10th standard exam is there, please bless. And I said, what blessing? So that he remembers, Krishna gives him remembrance of whatever he studied. Then the parent was telling, but my son is saying that what is the use of this 10th standard and all that? I said, he's correct. He's correct. He has to just pass that. No, Prabhuji, 10th standard, people say no, 10th standard is important. Even she is not convinced. People say no, 10th standard is important. After finishing that, then 12th standard. And then comes engineering or whatever. And then after that, he realizes actual life begins. Actual struggle begins. So it's temporary cessation. This is what people feel it's happiness. And see, Prabhupada writes a very emphatic statement here. Such bold statement. He says, there is no happiness at all in the material world. Now, a person who has full hope that I'll get happiness in the material world, he reads Prabhupada's purport, he'll faint. There is no happiness in the material world. In this purport, Prabhupada is writing. No happiness in the material world. Let's analyze this statement logically. See, all of us are spirit souls. Theoretically, at least convinced, no, everyone. We all are spirit soul. We are on the spiritual platform. And in this world, when people are trying to get some happiness, how they're trying to get happiness? Trying to exploit some material things around. Always remember one thing, a spiritual entity cannot get happiness on the material platform because spirit cannot enjoy matter. Not possible. Not possible at all. Because spirit can get happiness from another spiritual entity, not from the material entity. Because spiritual entity is higher, material entity is lower. So there's incompatibility that is there. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is writing very clearly here that there is no happiness in this world. But you might say that there are people who feel happy. Yes. And it's very clear that is just illusion. Nothing else. Nothing else. Because this is the crux, this is the background. If a person cannot be happy because he is a spiritual entity and he is trying to get happiness or derive happiness by exploiting something material. Not possible. Srila Rupa Goswami, he talks about the disease state in Nectar of Instruction, Shloka number 7. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapa Vidya Pitopta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kentvadanadanudinam Khalusaiva Jushta Swadvikramad Bhavati Tadgadamolahantri. He's saying, what is the disease condition as of now we are in? Now, this is for sadhakas. We have discussed a lot of materialists. Let's talk about ourselves. This is about sadhaka. Syat Krishna Nama Charita Adi. So, the transcendental name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Lord. Syat Krishna Nama Charita Adi Sita is very sweet, he says. Very sweet. And Srila Rupa Goswami is speaking about this, and all the other acharyas, they resonate with this statement because they are relishing it. That's very sweet. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami, again in another shloka he says, Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Gatayate Karna Buddhebhyas Praham Chetah Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No Jano Janitat Kriyat Bhiramrate Krishneti Varnaduvai. There's a question that he's asking. That how much nectar is there in these two syllables, Krishna? How much nectar is there? And you ask him, why are you talking? What is so special about this? When I chant, I feel like having many, many tongues. And when I hear the same name, I feel like having many, many ears. And in that holy name, when it enters my heart, all my senses go stunned. And sadhakas like us, we wonder, what is there in Krishna? I chant everything, nothing happens. What is there in this? That's what here Srila Rupa Goswami is saying. You will not be able to understand. Why you'll not be able to understand? Srila Rupa Goswami is telling all of us. You'll not be able to understand. Why? Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sita Pya Vidya. Avidya, because as of now, we are in avidya, we are in ignorance. Therefore, in this avidya state, our situation is comparing to that of a person afflicted by jaundice. Pitopta rasanasya narochikam. That person whose tongue is afflicted with jaundice, when there is a layer on the tongue, there's no question of tasting sweetness. Narochikam. Not possible. So, as of now, our situation is that we are in avidya, we are in ignorance. So, for us, when we hear that, when they were hearing the holy names, they were rolling on the ground, fainting, and the devotees are thinking, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with them? What are they enjoying so much? What is that they're enjoying which I'm not able to get? I'm not able to realize. So therefore, this point is very important to note and understand that as of now in this situation, we are not able to taste that sweetness, not able to understand that sweetness because we are in avidya or ignorance very badly. Very badly. Therefore, what is the solution? And Srila Prabhupada writes, devotional service to the Supreme Lord which leads one to eternal, blissful, all-cognizant life is called the superior quality of occupation. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaja. So, bhakti toward adhokshaja is paradharma, a superior dharma. Now, let's try to understand this again from this shloka, Nectar of Instruction. So, how to get that sweetness now, which he's talking about? See, our acharyas are so wonderful. They give the problem statement and along with that, they give the solution also. That's the glory of our acharyas. And here he gives a solution and he says, Kintu adarad anudinam khalu saiva jushta. Kintu adarad anudinam. He's saying if someone does this bhakti every single day, it will be bitter. But still if someone does it every single day, there's a word he uses called adarad. With attention, with care, with respect. What will happen to that person? Swadvi kramat bhavati tadgadamula hantri. With time, he'll start tasting sweetness. What is that sweetness they're talking about at our level? What can be that sweetness? Little, little. आप लोगों को मिल रहा है little, little. कुछ तो मिल रहा होगा नहीं तो continue कैसे करेंगे सर?
Taste and hearing.
Okay. Taste and hearing. Okay. What else? What is that little, little sweetness? Okay, one is that you hear. Little, little realization. We are hearing and then we are realizing that. And that little, little realization that is there is like chota, chota sweetness. And it feels very nice, little, little sweetness. And then the person like, okay, no, I'll be able to progress more and more and more. Therefore, I always keep saying that the devotees who don't get realizations, kuch to gadbad hai bhakti mein. Sadhana bhakti is not going well. Because if sadhana bhakti is done properly, some realization has to come. Little. I'm not talking about some big realization that how holy name and Krishna are non-different. Yes. I'm not talking about that. Little, little realization. Like for example, this world is dukkhalayam. Now one devotee came to me, yesterday I was sharing this in a class. Some devotee came to me and he was like, Prabhuji, always you keep saying that the dukkhalayam, the world is dukkhalayam. Prabhuji, aakh khol ke dekhiye, sukh hai yahan bhi. Oh, you just think about it. And he was that devotee who was taking me around to different places and things like that. And I was struck. I was sitting behind in the bike. That was the time when I used to preach to him. And then he's telling me, Sukh hai Prabhuji. Thoda mall jaake dekhiye. And so many examples he started giving. I was stunned hearing that. I said, Prabhuji, are you chanting your 16 rounds? Are you hearing classes or not? This is what exactly happens when the bhakti is not proper. We are not. This is very basic. Very basic. Anyone who is practicing bhakti, little bit also sincerely, he'll be able to realize this world is dukkhalayam. But if someone is not able to realize, this small realization is not there, then pakka there is some gadbad in his practice. Surely, surely. So these little, little realizations, as of now at our level, is that little sweetness, which will keep propelling us on the path of devotional service. That is a newness that is there. New realizations. Though that is a newness that is there in Krishna consciousness. And then there's a hope that Rupa Goswami gives us. Swadvi Kramad. Slowly, slowly we'll taste the sweetness. Along with that, what is happening? Swadvi Kramad Tad Gadamula Hantri. This disease of avidya, ignorance, This desire for sense gratification, the desire of sex and all that will be removed from the root. That's the point that is made here. Now, there's another very important thing that we need to consider, which this particular shloka is talking about. See, Srimad Bhagavatam clearly rejects the 4 Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It rejects that. Because all 4 are meant for one's own selfishness. Dharma is clear, I want to follow religion. Why you want to follow religion? I'll get some Artha, I'll get some money, I'll get some opulence. Why you want that? Kama, for my sense gratification. When I'm completely frustrated with sense gratification, then I want Moksha because I want to get rid of material miseries. So all the 4 are considered to be selfish. The Pancham Purushartha that is there, that is Krishna Prem, is considered above that. That's selfless. We'll talk about that after some time. So this point is very important to note. Srimad Bhagavatam rejects these 4. Therefore it is said, Dharma projitakaita vatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So Srimad Bhagavatam rejects this completely. So what is this particular shloka talking about? Pure devotional service should be rendered. How it has to be rendered? Free from material desires. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Free from material desires. And second is free from material desire. But what is the goal? The goal is to please Krishna. In fact, even a newcomer in ISKCON should know this, because again and again Bhagavatam speakers will repeat this. What is the goal? The goal is to please Krishna. Sometimes when we ask devotees, Supro, what is the goal of life? And they're scratching head and Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita, this verse says this, Bhagavatam. Arey bhai, what is the goal of life? There's only one goal, that is to please Krishna. There's no other goal apart from that. So this is the mode of devotional service without any material desires, sense gratificatory desires, and goal is to please Krishna. See, as of now, our situation is what? Sometimes we are pure devotees and sometimes we are not. And that's the fact. Sometimes you yourself will see that there will be a surge of devotional mood that will be there within. I just want Krishna, I don't want anything else. Hota hai na? Especially I've seen after Bhagavatam class. Means there's a short time that is there between Bhagavatam class and Prasad. So in that small time, that there's prayer and there is intense prayer and there's a mood that yes, I want only Krishna, I don't want anything else in life. And then after Prasad and what happens, don't know. Then everything becomes again the same state, back to square one. So in this way we see that there are fluctuations in our mood. Sometimes we have the mood of pure devotional service and sometimes it's like impure devotional service. When we say impure, it means what Srila Prabhupada mentions in this, that the inferior quality is also included while doing the superior dharma. While doing devotional service, the devotee has this mood that if I do this particular thing, the students especially I've seen, if I chant, I'll pass in exam. I've seen many times when we do college preaching, they have all this, and we also tell them, before going to exam, chant and go. And then, so I'll pass, Prabhuji. Yes, you will pass. Yes, you will pass. Yes, you will pass. And it was a googly for me, in my initial days. Near my house, there was some satsang happening. ISKCON devotee was there. And that ISKCON devotee was saying that if you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you will get wealth. You will get nice match for your marriage. You will get this, you will that. And then I was completely bewildered. What is he saying? Because I heard that by chanting Hare Krishna, you advance in bhakti. But again, we understand that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Chintamani. So we think we'll get also, no doubt about that. But the point is that there is no question of mixed devotional service. There's only pure devotional service that is expected. And one should try for this, One should try. Whenever we have some desires which are not Krishna conscious, we should pray to the Lord that, oh Lord, please help me to get rid of these desires. Why I'm saying this? Because when we have the mood of pure devotional service, and when we practice pure devotional service, we are not rendering pure devotional service. We are practicing pure devotional service. And when we do that, you will see that realizations have to come. We have to advance in Krishna consciousness because it's a process, it's a science, it has to work. The result will be the same. The results are not going to change. Therefore, this point has to be very much clearly understood that no mixed devotional service, one has to endeavor for pure devotional service. Whenever we have some thoughts which are not devotional service, or pure devotional mood, we have to pray that, oh Lord, please help me to get out of this. No problem, even if it is mechanical every day. You go in front of the Lord and you're like, oh Lord, please help me to get rid of sense gratification. And internally you're feeling, but kabhi kabhi acha lagta hai. No problem, but still pray. Still pray. And I'm telling you, that mechanical prayer, which is fake as of now, will become real with time. And it's not that devotees want to do sense gratification. But क्या करें? अभी past life से इतना सारा अच्छा संस्कार लेके आए हैं. And naturally the samskaras, they come up, they pop up every now and then like bubble. And it keeps bursting every now and then in our existence. Therefore, this point is very important. And in this particular shloka, two words are used, ahituki and apratihata. Ahituki means no material motivation, unmotivated devotional service. Unmotivated or unalloyed basically means what? No material motive. Now, I always had this thing, people also ask this question sometimes, but we are aiming for going back home back to God. There's a motive. So, with motive, you're doing devotional service. Okay, that's material motive, but still, this is also a motive, no?
It's not a motive, we are just climbing our father's property.
Hari bol. मेरे बाप की property. Okay, accepted. What else? This is a real swartha. This should be the real selfishness. Why, a devotee wants to go back home back to Godhead, not thinking that I want to get rid of this place. But he wants to go back home back to Godhead so that he can go to spiritual world and serve the Lord better. Because here he's not able to serve the Lord. There's so many bodily limitations. So he wants to go to spiritual world to serve the Lord in a better way. 24/7 he wants to engage in service of the Lord. So he wants to go to the spiritual world. So this concept has to be clear for all of us. Why we want to go to spiritual world. See, in the initial classes, it will be told, get rid of this material world. Who wants to remain in the suffering? The kleshas and the 4 problems of birth, death, old age and disease. Get rid of this material world. Break the cycle of birth and death. Go back, come back to God and eternally be happy. And then with time we understand that we want to go to spiritual world, and how we can be eternally happy? By serving Krishna for His pleasure, we can be eternally happy. So the realizations will evolve with time. Therefore, this point is very important, that going back home back to Godhead is not a motivated devotional service, it's unmotivated only. One has to aim at going back home back to Godhead. Second thing is apratihata. What does that mean? Uninterrupted devotional service. Come what may. Let anything happen in life. Doesn't matter. My devotional service shouldn't pause, shouldn't break. Sometimes, sometimes I've seen devotees saying this, that, I want to take a break. I want to take a break. Yes. If you take a break, I'll break you. You cannot take a break. See, there's no question of break. Always remember one thing, there's little space in life where we take a pause. If there is no Krishna, who will fill that space? Maya will fill that space. And both Maya and Krishna have this one very nice quality. They enter little and they expand. There's little space that you leave, and then you enter, Maya enters and she expands and done. Devotional service is gone. Therefore, this point is very important. There is no pause button in devotional service. No pause button. There's no question of stop button at all. Yes. Therefore, pause button is not there, and we shouldn't have. And Srila Prabhupada has established this very wonderfully. Both unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. See, these acharyas, by their own achar and prachar, they are setting an example for all of us. Just wanted to please Krishna. This just want to please Krishna. This is the mood of Srila Prabhupada. When a reporter was asking him that, Swamiji, you have done so much. Now you have so many temples, you have so many books, so many disciples. And he said that it's all because of my spiritual master. If I take any credit, only credit as I have presented the message as it is. And all the time, this one mood of Srila Prabhupada is very clear, that everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Every penny that comes in ISKCON is meant for Krishna's pleasure. Therefore, you see that purity is maintained in this organization, because Prabhupada has established this fact very clearly, that everything is meant for Krishna's pleasure. And he worked accordingly. And he set a very high level of example. Uninterrupted Whatever happens, Prabhupada's devotional service never stopped. He never took a pause. Let me just relax today. It's like, too much. So much of translation work I've done. Let me skip Mangalarti today. For my health problems, you see, Prabhupada had so many health issues, be it heart attacks or be it his issues of having some gong sound in the head all the time, or be it some paralysis that he went through at one point of time in his life. No, devotional service never stopped. In fact, when Srila Prabhupada's body was paralyzed, so Prabhupada said, I'll give class. And they were like, Prabhupada, you're not well. He said, my body is paralyzed. I'm able to speak. I'll speak. Can you imagine that? There's no question of interruption anywhere. Problems from other disciples? There were times when the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, there were some corrupt ones who wanted to take over Srila Prabhupada. They wanted to take their position above Srila Prabhupada. There was once Rath Yatra that happened. And Srila Prabhupada was not allowed to sit on the Rath. And they gave some reasons and made Srila Prabhupada to sit in a car and they sent Prabhupada in the car. And they were there on the Rath. And that's how the entire Rath procession happened. Prabhupada was disturbed because of that. But Prabhupada never stopped devotional service. Some of the disciples at that time, they started speaking some nonsensical thing. When Srila Prabhupada was not well and he shifted to India for his recovery, some people started saying that Prabhupada is not pleased with you, so therefore Prabhupada is left. There's a huge commotion that was there. People were going low in Krishna consciousness. And this message came to Srila Prabhupada. He was disturbed, but he was not affected. His devotional service continued. And Gopi Bhav Club is next level. Prabhupada has been speaking again and again and again. Go canto by canto. Don't go to 10th canto directly. Don't get into this Rasa Panchadhyaya and all that. But still these people went into only that mood. That we are gopis. We are supposed to cultivate the Gopi Bhav and this and that. And they made a club, GBC. Just imagine what Srila Prabhupada went through at that time. And in front of the eyes of Srila Prabhupada, his own disciples were falling. They were getting into nonsensical activity. But Srila Prabhupada never had a pause button, sitting with depression. Oh, what's happening in my entire organization? No, he was busy, intense in his mood. And problems from outsiders? How much problems Srila Prabhupada faced from outsiders? Mr. N of Juhu case, Mr. Nair, he was troubling Prabhupada and his disciples so much. Even in West, initially when they wanted to get some big hall or whatever, that time also the owner was troubling them so much. And there were times when there were people in India who were taking away Srila Prabhupada's disciples, saying Prabhupada has not given you everything. Come, we will give you everything. Yes. And disciples were going like that. And I was hearing him in one class and I was laughing like anything. Srila Prabhupada got a letter from his disciples that our devotees have been put into jail. So I think Temple President was writing a letter that our devotees have been put into jail because they did this Nagar Sankirtan and it was chaos. They were put in the jail. So Srila Prabhupada, should we appoint an advocate and fight the case? And in the class, Prabhupada is saying. So this was the message that I got and I told them no need. What they were doing outside chanting, ask them to chant inside. Why spend money in all this? Prabhupada's mood is clear. There is no interruption. You are inside jail, outside jail, doesn't matter. Continue your devotional service. See, when it comes to our life, we have to ask this question again and again. Our Acharya set an example for us. We have to ask this question again and again, every single day, because pure devotional service is moment by moment. One moment we are a pure devotee, next moment we are a hardcore materialist. Again, next moment we might be a pure devotee. So it's a moment-to-moment business that is there. Therefore, this point is very important, that we ask this question in our self-introspection time, that am I rendering pure devotional service? In that, the first question is that what is my motive in Krishna consciousness? What is the goal of life? Krishna Prem. So what do you want in Krishna consciousness? Krishna Prem. There's nothing else apart from that. But then there's a question which Burijan Prabhu gave us. Ask this question, that what actually you want? What you want is okay. That is theoretical. But what actually you want? We should ask this question to ourselves. What do we want in Krishna consciousness? And if the answer is not Krishna Prem, if the answer is not Krishna, something is wrong. We need to rectify ourselves. Second thing is that if we are thinking about pausing our bhakti for some time and taking a break for some time, one thing should be very clear: we are in utter illusion. Now, when someone says, "Bro, a lot of problems are there, I want to take break," I meet some people like that. "Bro, your office में बहुत काम है, so I'll take a pause and then I'll resume." My God, really? घर पे ये problems चल रहा है. My health issues are there of someone in the house or some fights are going in the house. I'll take a pause. See, tell me one thing. What Prahlad Maharaj went through, इतना तो नहीं हो रहा है ना हमारे life में. I always ask this question: is your father trying to kill you, or mother trying to kill you? Who is trying to kill you? नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Then what is the problem in practicing devotional service? Because when family members are not devotees, a lot of problems will be there. A lot of restrictions will be there. But for sure, it will be not like Prahlad Maharaj that every now and then your father looking at you and thinking, now I'll poison him. Now I'll put fire on him. I'll take him to the top floor of this building and throw him from there. No. Look at Prahlad Maharaj. Anything and everything that was done to him, there was never a pause button where he's sitting and thinking, how should I solve this problem? What should I do now? He just continued on and on and on. His devotional service was on. There was no off button there. There was no pause button there. Therefore, always, whenever you go through any issue, you have to meditate on the personalities from Srimad Bhagavatam and the Acharyas in the Parampara. In fact, our Acharyas in the Parampara, there were times when these Acharyas, I'll sometime speak about these pastimes also, when there were people who were plotting against them. They wanted to kill them. One of them was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There were people who wanted to kill Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Can you imagine? Such a great devotee, such a Rasika Bhakta. And he was plotted. The plotting was done to kill him. Not just he, so many other Acharyas in the line. Even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There's a plot against him as well. But there was no pause in their devotional service. They just went on and on and on, and with increasing intensity of devotional service. Another famous example in ISKCON, very high level of example in ISKCON, is the Russian devotees. Just thinking about those Russian devotees gives so much of enthusiasm, At that time, when the Iron Curtains were on, and they were not allowed to practice bhakti, still these devotees were practicing bhakti. Still these devotees were preaching. That drama which is there on salted bread, the book also is there on salted bread, where devotees are coming and embracing each other and they're saying that, oh, dear friend, we don't know we'll meet again. And where are they going out for? They're going out to book distribution. And they are embracing each other and they're saying we don't know if we'll meet again. Because if anyone who is caught doing book distribution at that time, any preaching at that time, that person will be put behind bars and that person will be tortured till death. That was going on there. And these devotees had so much of guts. Can you imagine? So much of confidence that whatever it is will not stop devotional service. And even when they were put behind bars and only when bread was given, drying the bread and using that as beads to chant the holy names. What level this is? Using the toothpaste to put tilak. What level this is? Making a garland of paper, newspaper, whatever they would get there, and mentally offering it to Krishna and offering and taking that as Mahaprasad and putting on oneself. Oh my God, what is that? Just imagine if we are put in that situation. Yes, we are supposed to go out for book distribution and then we know that someone catches us, we'll be put behind bars. Yes, at least I will not go out. At least I will not go out. I don't know what you all. This is what is our situation. This is what is our situation. So there was no interruption in their devotional service, even when their entire situation was so pathetic. So very pathetic. Therefore, the point that I'm trying to make here is, there's no question of interruption in devotional service, come what may. Therefore, I always say this, doesn't matter who dies in the family, doesn't matter who takes birth in the family, doesn't matter what monetary issues we have, doesn't matter how much the boss is shouting at us. Sometimes devotees take that as such a big thing. Oh, my boss is like really very bad. Itna daata hai mujhe, itna daata hai. And when I chant, I remember him. You're supposed to think of Krishna and not plot against him when you're chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just think about that. It's like nonsense. So the point is, there's no question of interruption and remembrance of Krishna. But somehow this is there, when it comes to us. So this is something that we need to meditate on. And sometimes I feel very pathetic about our IY boys. When they newly get married, they take a pause. Prabhuji, I'll come back. Hare Krishna. What is this? Take a pause. Prabhuji, abhi dekhiye, नई शादी हुई है. We're supposed to build relationship with each other. So we have to spend time with each other. So when we have to spend time, then थोड़ा center में आना बंद होगा, थोड़ा service कम होगा, and this and that. But I have seen such people go out just like that. And literally we have to go and drag them back into Krishna consciousness. So there is no question of pause. Job नहीं है तो pause, marriage नहीं हो रहा है तो pause, marriage हो रहा है तो pause, job मिल रहा है तो pause. घर नहीं खरीद रहे तो pause, घर खरीदने के बाद pause. अरे problem क्या है भाई? What is the problem in life? Bhakti gets paused every now and then. Therefore, the shloka becomes so important. Very, very important. That there is no question of pausing devotional service. Same mood should come in our chanting also. This is the last part of my presentation today. Same mood of ahituki apratihata is needed in chanting. This question should be asked, why am I chanting? And the only answer is, I want to please Guru and Krishna. If I chant, they will be pleased because that's what is their instruction to me. Just imagine when we are chanting, Krishna and Srila Prabhupada are smiling because we are chanting, because that's their instruction. They see that, this Buddhaji from many lifetimes was slogging and rotting in this material world is now chanting the holy name. Very soon he'll come back to the spiritual world. They're smiling. And if they smile, that's success of our life. And when it comes to interruption in chanting, there are 3 types of inattentiveness which Haridas Thakur is speaking about in Harinam Chintamani. First one he says is audasinya, apathetic devotional service without enthusiasm. And how do we do this? Or how do we see that in our chanting? Somehow finish the rounds. Chal ke fir ke khatam kar do. Yes. Walking, talking, planning. Planning to aayega abhi. Walking, talking, chatting, whatever. Sometimes so pathetic in the morning. Here in IBC, people are sitting with mobile phone and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Yes. Outsiders, not brahmacharis. Brahmacharis will have a tough time to do all that. Yes. What is that all about? It's called apathetic chanting. Knowingly, actively, we just want to finish off without any attention, without any enthusiasm, without going through any struggle of focusing on the holy name. Somehow finish it off. Second is jadya or laziness. Now this is a very nice thing, that in chanting, knowingly sleeping. अभी कल बहुत मेहनत किया, थोड़ा सा सो जाता हूँ, उठ के अच्छा chanting होगा. Holding the breath and sleeping. Not struggling to chant, not trying to be focused in chanting is laziness. Whenever we are not struggling in our chanting, always remember we are lazy. Sometimes people ask, kitna prayers offer kare Bhagwan ko? Answer ही नहीं कर रहे. How much should I offer prayers to the Lord that please help me to hear the holy name, please help me to get some taste in the holy name? That's okay. That's not your problem. Lord will take care of that. Our thing is we have to offer prayers. And literally we will see, first few rounds we'll offer nice prayers. After that we'll not be able to offer prayers. Jadya, laziness, because of that. Kitna prayers offer? Har mala ke baat. Once I was telling a devotee that we should chant Prabhupada Pranam Mantra before every round. Every round? Now that devotee looked at me with so much of anxiety and surprise, as if I told them that break 4 regulative principles. Oh, every round? Yes. And when you're not able to focus on the Pranam Mantra, and Pranam Mantra just goes like that, remember it's Audasinya and Jadya both. And the last one is Vikshepa. Vikshepa is distraction. In chanting, nicely planning. Thinking about various things of this world. That's Vikshepa. And this is sometimes, knowingly we do this. That will cause a great inattention. See, unknowingly when the mind goes and when you offer a prayer, it can come back. But knowingly when we start planning, start chanting, and then you start your planning right from the round 1, so the first bead. And you will see whatever you're planning, say office work, you start planning. Whenever you start actively planning, all your 16 rounds will go into planning. You can notice for yourself. If it's something that goes without notice and you get into planning, you can pull back. But actively when you start planning, vikshepa, distraction. Misplacing one's attention and engagement is not directly connected with sadhana bhakti. So these are the three things which you have to meditate on. Is my chanting audasinya? Audasinya means indifferent or not having enthusiasm in doing devotional service. Second, jadya. Am I lazy in my chanting? How do you understand you're lazy or not? One is you don't sleep, not struggling to focus, not offering prayers. So that's something that's very important. Vikshepa, distraction. Active planning going on. So this is something that we have to take care of. We shouldn't be busy in planning. So there shouldn't be any apratihata in our chanting. That's the point I'm trying to make. Inattentiveness is the mother of all offenses. Inattentiveness will bring into this, that is pratihata. Interruption will be brought because of inattentiveness. Therefore, the last point for today, with proper devotional service, we can attain blissful life in Krishna consciousness. And how should we practice devotional service? With this greed of attaining higher aspects in Krishna consciousness, when we practice bhakti, with enthusiasm, we'll be able to advance very nicely. And then little sweetness we'll be able to taste, and the entire Krishna consciousness or sadhana bhakti will be able to do nicely, because you have that greed and you have some little taste also. And when you keep doing that without any motivation, without any interruption, it's just the time that is separating us from Goloka Vrindavan. No doubt about that. Yes. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.